We all long for happiness. It's the thing we most dream for.
Hail to the altruistic revolution. Let's go for it.
Now the first exercise is just going to get us ready for the big finale. So I got a new dress. I don't wear dresses a lot, and I've just found out that if you sit down when your legs are short as mine, that it's not where you want it. So I'm not sitting down for today. Excuses, excuses, blame, blame. Or really, I was tossing up on a title and this could have been the other title. Come, come, we're not clicking. Oh yeah, here we are. How to your relationships. Now, for this session, I would really like you to get involved in it. So every time you see a blue frame, I want you to do 4 things. Quickly stand up, do as the words say, quickly sit down, and start listening. Now, if you don't do the last 2, I won't be able to get your attention again and we won't get lunch. So make sure you do the last 2. I'm going to tell you a true story today about 2 women, real, true women. This is a true story, but I've had to hide their identities, and so I've disguised them as polar bears. And I've also given them other names. The first one, very nice, wise, caring woman, is a very good friend of mine. And she is very nice, wise, caring woman, and we'll call her today Very Nice. She's into yoga, meditates, you know, she gets into internal stuff, good to talk to, and incredibly, incredibly generous person. The other woman, arrogant control freak woman. Not so nice, we'll call her Cruella for short. I'm not even going to talk about her because she's not very nice. So, whenever Very Nice and I get together, what we really like to do is have a really big hug. So that's what I'd like you to do now. Okay, well, you were not too bad. You probably could speed it up a little bit. A couple of you don't seem to quite understand the concept of standing up. Okay, it's not hard. Try it next time. Okay. So one day, Very Nice and I were meeting for coffee. When Very Nice arrived, she wasn't her usual sunny self. She was upset. In fact, she was angry, and that's unusual for her. And so I'd like you to try that out. Oh, very good. Oh my God. Oh, okay, that was surprising because I was thinking you wouldn't do anger that well. But you did really well at anger. Okay. Now, Very Nice was angry because that day at work, in fact, only an hour before this had just happened, Cruella had, in front of the whole office, in the hearing of every worker there, stood up and screamed at Very Nice and said she was aggressive, mean, and controlling. Boo! Cruella! Boo! That is not the way you treat people. What do we say? Boo! Bad Cruella. Okay. Poor Very Nice. Oh, Very Nice. She was humiliated. Poor Very Nice. She was so, so sad. Anyway. No, that's not Very Nice. That's me. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening carefully to Very Nice. And that's what you do. Someone tells you something terrible, you listen, they get it all out, you listen, then they go through it again, then you listen. When she had finished and got everything out, I asked her a question. Tell me, Very Nice, What were you doing just before Cruella exploded? I'm not going to tell you just yet. I'm going to tell you why I asked the question. I had just been reading a book that was looking at why we do really dumb things like lie, exaggerate, cover up, and why our brains really like to dismiss, ignore, and forget any information that doesn't happen to make us look that good. This book is incredible. It has become my favourite ever non-fiction book, has really changed how I do relationships, and it's called Mistakes Were Made, but Not by Me. It's by the brilliant Elliot Aronson and Carol Tavris. This is really a book about cognitive dissonance, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with cognitive dissonance, but Elliot Aronson is the leading light in this area in the world. Cognitive dissonance is the feeling you get when you've done something that you've said or done something that embarrasses you a bit, or that you feel is outside your beliefs, values, or who you think you are. And our brains don't like cognitive dissonance feeling. It's a bad feeling. So our brains just go, no, I'm not having that. They just hate that. And what your brain does for you, nice little brain, what it does is it sends for you something to relieve that feeling. And it comes rushing straight in on its big black or white horse, and it's called self-justification. And this self-justification is well armed. It comes so equipped. And what it comes equipped with is your memory. Elliot Aronson and Carol Tavris say that memory becomes our personal, live-in, self-justifying historian, and that confabulation, distortion, and just plain forgetting are the foot soldiers of memory. And we summon the foot soldiers anytime and fairly quickly if we're in a situation we're not feeling too good about the way we behaved, we're a bit embarrassed, and we just feel like we didn't behave like our real selves. We put that out there. So, we all do it, just human. And what's interesting about it to me is that it isn't deliberate. It's our brains doing it. We're not really setting out to lie. It's a quite unconscious thing. Sure, some people do this deliberately, but for the most part, all of us do it subconsciously. And the reason we're doing it is because we want to be the nice guy. I mean, how many of you, if I asked you, okay, those of you who are cruel, bullying, untrustworthy, dishonest, hands up. It's not you, is it? Well, you know who it is, and they're probably here, but it's not you, because you know who you are, and you are a good person. You're a good person deep down. Look, there's a few little glitches now and then, but really, you are a good person, aren't you? You are, aren't you? Honest, trustworthy, nice, kind, generous. Why would you be at this conference if you weren't that? Of course you are that. Obviously you are that. This is proof you are that. You are that. And your brain would like to keep you thinking you are that. But, okay, back to Very Nice. I ask her this question, and Very Nice says, oh no, Very Nice thinks first. She thinks about it, and then she goes, oh my God! Oh my God! And louder. Yes, she was very surprised to suddenly remember what had happened just before. Very Nice remembered that just prior to Cruella exploding, she, yes, that is our Very Nice, she had been humiliating Cruella publicly. And she had been very deliberately pushing her buttons again and again until she exploded, and yet had forgotten instantly by the time she'd left the office. Cruella? Very Nice was graceful enough to realise that she had done the wrong thing. So she went and she apologised. And then, oh, quick, say I'm sorry, but be quick. No. So I'd done this test, and I had found out that yes, even very nice people dismiss and forget and ignore information that doesn't fit well with themselves. We are brilliant at deceiving ourselves, and research would suggest that if I had asked her 3 weeks later what she had done before, she would have forgotten what she had done before. I asked her later on, asked very nice, did Cruella apologise to you? What do you think? No, of course not. She didn't. And she didn't apologise because she didn't think she was the little innocent party. What did she do? She was the victim of Very Nice, this mean person. You know, Very Nice is not very nice. Very Nice is, in fact, as she said, aggressive, mean and controlling. And Very Nice, self-justification coming in here, got exactly what she deserved. This is how we do it, you know. In our lives, I reckon the stuff that really gets to us, it is pain, real pain for us, is other people and what happens with those other people. So how we do stuff with other people really, really matters. It really affects our ability to be happy. And what I learned from this book was that I needed to wake up to my own behaviour. And so I'm going to tell you 4 ways I started to wake up. There were lots more. I'm both Very Nice and Cruella. And much as I'd like not to be Cruella, sometimes I am. And accepting that is a helpful thing. We need to accept who we really are. Our brains are always going to, my brain is always going to minimise my role in conflict. And because it minimises my role in conflict, I don't have any concept really of how much I've hurt somebody else. So I start making excuses. And number 3, my brain maximises the role of the other people in the conflict, the really evil people, and I'll exaggerate their motives and how terrible it is what they did to me. I'm pretty sure that what I did to them wasn't anything like as what they did to me, and so then I start to blame. She started it. She started it. She started it. We do this when we're 5. We do this when they're 3. We do this all our lives. Just when we get big, we do it with more justification, with more reasons, with more evidence than we did when we were children. 4, the real killer here is the sad stories that I tell. You know, about the blow-ups and all the horrible things that have happened in my life. I go on and on and on about them to other people. And what I need to wake up to is that they are just stories, painful ones, hard ones, but stories, and they're biased in my favour. And not only biased in my favour, they are mostly fantasy and imagination. My memory is my self-justifying historian. And they keep me in a prison if I keep telling them. A painful, hard prison, and I have to let go if I want to be happy. And we do, what Matthew talked about this morning, we do want to be happy, partly because of the difference it will make in the world. And if we want to be happier, we've got to make these sort of changes. So I made myself a secret mantra that I'm going to tell you. And mantra, Buddhist conference, all very good. Okay. No more excuses, no more blame. I'm not telling the sad story game. I'm letting it go. So I'm going to give you an opportunity right now, if you want to take it, to do the same. Stand up if you want to be happier. 1, 2, 3, go. No more blame. I'm not playing the sad story game. I'm letting it go. Great. all this stuff, these excuses, defenses, refusal to forgive, and your sad stories, what they do is they keep you in a prison that has terrible consequences because it makes paradise polluted. Misunderstandings, conflicts, personality difference, and even angry quarrels are not the assassins of love. Self-justification is. If you want to find out more about all this sort of stuff, then join me on Saturday morning when I'm doing a 3-hour relationship workshop here at the conference, How to Have Happy Relationships, or How Not to Fuck Up Your Relationships. Thank you.